Hello. Hey guys. So today I am going to talk about Get-WMI, which is so if there isn't a pre-built PowerShell commandlet, or in my case today I'm going to actually be using so if there's not a pre-built PowerShell commandlet, you can usually get what you need through the WMI object, but what I was going to say was this commandlet, or this particular script, needs to go back as far as Windows 2000, Server 2008 R2, so which was PowerShell 2.0, and there are far less commandlets made for PowerShell 2.0 than the current 5.1, of course. So sometimes it's better to just do the Get-WmiObject and kind of pick through what you need. It can be a little more tedious, but for this case it's actually not too bad. So so what I want to do is find the percent free of all the disks for my for my local drives. And the reason I'm doing this is sort of still in the file server thing, but we have, so I have some 2008 R2 machines that I need to look up and see the percent free and figure out which drives are the right ones to start with. You know, all these servers have several drives, and you know the drives do change from day to day, so as I get closer to migrating these drives, I'll have a better sense of which servers are filling up faster, and also where they're at in sort of any given time. So anyways, I'm rambling a bit. I'm a little tired, so it's been a long day, first day back. But so I'm going to go ahead and just run the ISE here. And so we'll do a Get-WmiObject. So there's a lot of different things, but for this case we're just going to do the win32 underscore logical, if I can spell this right, disk. I think I can just do that, right? So so that we get our first bit of information back. So these are the drives that are on my local PC, and the nice thing is you can actually run Get-WmiObject. So I can even run this. And I'm just going to run this against a local computer, but I just want to show that it does have computer name. So we can just say localhost, which is this computer, or host name, and oops, and I can do a copy here, and oops. Let's do Get-WmiObject, and again I can put this machine, and you can see it is running against this local machine. Oh, that's nice. So we'll do John I desktop here. John I desktop, right? And so you can see you can run this remotely against other computers. And I did test this at work, and it does run against my file servers, which some of them have, you know, 15 plus disks connected to it, so it is working. So the other piece of this is I did find out earlier, so our virtual machines have virtual CD-ROMs on there, and I had asked, and they're all VMware, and I'd asked why do we have those, and I found out it's because for the VMware tools install and for the upgrade you need to have the virtual CD-ROM there, virtual DVD, whatever you want to call it. Basically the virtual optical drive, we'll call it, there. So that's, if you ever wonder why you have to have that, that's apparently why. Anyways, kind of stupid, but whatever. So the other drive type was like a 2 or a 5, I don't remember, but basically 3 seemed to be local hard drive. That was the conclusion I came to. So this gives you a couple pieces of information. It gives you the drive letter, which, you know, in this case is C. It gives us the drive type, which the 3 is the identifier for a local hard drive. I don't know what provider name is. Gives you the free space, and then the total size of the drive, and then if the volume actually has a name, so that's your drive label. You know, I do, so on this local machine I have C, where Windows mostly is, and a few other things like Office and some other programs. E is mostly where my games go, my Steam games, and I also do play Overwatch. And then on F, I have some applications, and my VMs are all stored there. So that's kind of how my drives are broken out. I've kind of talked about that in the past. But anyways, so let's go ahead and make this my very first part of this script. So let's call this, so we'll call this disks, and we'll say equals, and we can do equals that. Right, and then we do want to put a filter on this filter, and we can say what is it, drive, oops. So we want to say drive type equals, and then we'll put the little brackets here, 3. So what we're doing is basically taking this piece and making sure it equals 3. It shouldn't change our thing at all, but if I were to change this to say 2, we shouldn't get anything back, right? So we want to make sure that that's set for 3. So really I need to add this on the end of my, oops, don't do that, on my first part of the script here. And let's add, so I want to make this a little dynamic, so we're going to add a parameter as well, param, right? And we'll do the close, and then we'll break this out, and we'll put a tab there. Let's put a tab there, and then we'll say parameter, I spell that right, P-A-R-A-M-E-T-E-R, and then I think it's bracket mandatory equals true, comma, and then we want a help message, right? And we'll say that is equal computer name. We'll just leave it at that. And then we'll put another comma, and then value, what is it, from, I got a little cheat sheet over here I'm looking at, so if you see me looking away, that's why. Pipeline equals, because I can never remember all this. This is kind of a long piece of thing to sort of try to remember. True, and then we'll say, I think we can just do it this way, string, and then we'll call it, what do we want to call this? We're going to call this computer name. We'll do it computer name. So then we can replace computer name here with the actual, with that. So that way we get that. So let's save this. We'll just save this. I'm just going to put it on my desktop, and we'll call it get disks, disk free, we'll call it. Get disk free, that seems pretty good. And we'll say save. So what I should be able to do is go clear, change directory to temp, get disk free dash computer name, see, filled it out for me. And then we can just say local host, and oh, it ran, but we didn't actually, so let's just tilt that out. We'll just sort of say disks. That way it'll actually at least put out what we did. So it ran, but it only ran because it just ran this piece, but it didn't output it. So now when we run it, it should get that. Cool. So it's sort of like a function, but not really. So that's the meat of the script. So now what we need to do is, so we could do this a couple different ways, but since we want to calculate the disk free, I think we need a for statement. So we'll say for each, and let's put the little brackets in there, and we'll say, so we'll call it disk in disks, and then we'll put our little brackets here. We'll go ahead and do that. So what it's going to do is now it's going to treat each one of these. So it's going to loop through each one of these in our for each. And when we do that, we want to call one. So we'll call this percent free equals. And what do we want? So we want star disk dot, say free space. And the reason I'm doing that is because that, I didn't spell it. I don't think that cups matters, but I like to do it. So that's the free space here. So that'll be that property. And then I think it's divided by size. Let me make sure I got this right. So again, disk dot size. And then actually I want to multiply that by 100, so I need to put this in, so remember the order of, what is it, mathematics, with mathematical order, something like that. So it's going to do what's in here first, so it's going to divide it and then times it by 100 to move that, because otherwise we're going to get like a decimal, so we'll get like a 0.6 something, or 0.528, whatever. And then so times 100, so that at least we'll get a 50 something %. So that's one. So then we need a, so I want to get the drive letter, so we'll call that, we guess we can call that drive letter equals, and we'll say, so this one's a little trickier. So I think what we have to do here is say disk, and then I think we just do select object. Select object, device, ID, and then I think we still have to call it one more time because I ran this piece earlier and it kind of gave me a problem. ID. And then, what was the last thing we wanted to call it? What else did we want? Oh, we wanted volume name. So let's try this again, and we'll copy this line because it's kind of similar, I think. We'll call this volume name. Volume name. And we'll do select object, but this time we're going to do volume name. So let me just copy that. I'm going to try it just like that. I don't know if I need the dot on there or not. We'll try it that way first. So let's just print out each piece, see what we get, right? So we'll get, well, I guess we can write it out. So we can say write dash host, and we want to say, what do we want to say? The let's say drive, we'll say drive letter, has how much free, percent free, has percent free, and then we'll actually put a percent sign after it, and then and the name, oops, is volume name. Let's try that. I don't know if that's 100% right, but it's a stab in the dark. So let's try this again. I'm just gonna actually run it over here. So it's clear, and drive C has, that's awesome. So we're close, we're getting there. So the drive has 54, 56, so that's not right. And the name, what else did I put? The drive letter, the percent free. Okay, so we got, so this is right. Drive C, so it did that right, so that's here. Has, and we need to, that seems a bit, we don't need all this. I don't really want, I really just wanted 42% or 50% or 56%, and then the volume name. So I think we have to do the same thing again, and I think it's just volume name. So let's save that and let's run it again and let's see. All right, cool. So that looks better. So this one didn't have a, so as you can see, if I just run, if I just ran the WMI-object, you can see volume name didn't exist. So that's okay. So we're pretty close. So we have to do a little math here, and actually I'm gonna look at another little cheat sheet because this is something I don't do all the time. But what with our calculation here, we need to add the little math piece, and so it's a little couple brackets. We just say simply just say math. Couple of those. So this is more from C#, not my strongest suit. So we're gonna do a round. So that way it'll round it up or down depending on what it does. And then and an end. So I think that'll do it. So basically we're taking a math, we're gonna round it, and we didn't put any extra things, so it's just gonna round it to the nearest whole decimal. So let's save it and let's run it again. There it is. So let's clear. Yep. So I have a USB drive here. I don't know if it'll pick up. I don't know if USB drives actually label differently. Let's see. So, but as you can see, I've got a USB drive here. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it into my computer. And so it's a G. So it's the G drive. You just saw it pop up. Yep. Oh, cool. So, yep, it had no label, but you can see how it dynamically picked up that drive. We didn't have to do anything else, and I guess it is a TIE Drive 3. So that's cool. So, so yeah, there you go. So this script will go through and find drives on any machine, and yeah. So this, you know, it did take me a little longer to write this originally, but you can kind of see the process I walked through to do it. And yeah, that's basically the whole script in a nutshell. Hopefully it helps you guys, and I had a little better wording on this, but I think you guys get the gist. This is pretty easy to change. I didn't have any extra error checking in this, and I probably should make this, the only other thing I probably should do is process, because I think that's like the right way to do this. And we'll save it and just check it one more time, but yeah, that way if I wanted to put a break statement in here, it would break out of this process and stop the whole thing. Anyways, that's it. Hopefully this helps you guys, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I do have one more thing to share. I am going to be building a new PC probably sometime this weekend. Actually, my current PC is actually running great, but the youngest boy, he's in need of a new computer, so I'll be building myself a new computer, and he'll be inheriting this, which is really a pretty nice computer. Anyways, until next time, guys, I'll see you then. Bye.